Well, hello, my friends. So, should you charge extra if you've got a potential customer who's almost ready to book, but they want to include their team members or their partner or other people who work in their business with them in the personal brand photography session? Okay? Should you include them in the story session or not? That is what we are going to dive into this week in this question of the week. It comes from Allison in our free personal brand photography group. So if you're not already part of the group, please join here, because every week I take one of the questions that somebody has asked from that group and answer it via live video to help you grow your personal brand photography business. And I want to see you succeed no matter how crazy the market is right now. This is going to be exploding in the future as more and more people dive into having online businesses. So I'm excited for that. So, all right. Definitely join here if you haven't yet. And if somebody is watching who could type that out for us so that people can just click and join if they're not already a member, that would be awesome and much appreciated. Thank you. But before I answer this question, which I'm going to do in just a second, I have a question for you. Have you had clients ask you to do this yet? Some of you have, some of you haven't. And how would you handle it, or how have you handled it in the past if you've had clients ask to include extra people in their story session? So definitely let me know so I can hear what your experience is and we can all learn from each other, which I think is great. And let me pull up the question. So the actual question comes from Allison. She says, I'm hoping to get some advice on this question I just received. This was a girl who responded to my 1K weekend post, and I'm not sure how I should respond. I'd love feedback from someone who's done something similar. Do I allow people but up the price a bit? Do I say no since it's a promotion? Thanks for any advice. And here's what her client said. She said, yes, when do we start? With all the heart eyes. Do the images include anyone else I can bring with me? At Reinvented, I have 3 other team members, and at CrossFit Seymour, I have 5 other coaches. These images would be amazing for me personally to help boost business, but also as a whole team, and I want to promote my team too. Okay, so Allison, that is a great question, and thank you for asking that. So for those of you who haven't heard of the 1K Weekend, let me give you a little context. This is a free challenge that I offer to let you learn how to do that helps you know exactly what to say and do to book at least 2 clients and make $1,000 over a weekend. Now, you don't have to do it over a weekend. We used to do it as a big event as a community, but I know that like right now, especially, you know, you may be able to shoot, you may not. What I have found is that even since this whole stay-at-home thing started, because I do track these results, for the people who do the 1K weekend, 43% of them have been booking clients even though they can't shoot yet. And what they're doing is they are putting out the offer, they're letting people book these sessions, and it's a portfolio building session. So it's a lower price, but it's still the full features. And then they're doing all the planning now, and they just plan to shoot as soon as they're able to in their area, and they're both them and their client are comfortable with getting out to shoot. So it's a way for you to bring in money now if cash flow is tight, even if you can't shoot. And if you can shoot, it's a great way to kickstart your business to get back on your feet. So that's what this is. She literally just put out the 1K weekend script this week, and you'll notice she got interested clients, which is awesome. Which, oh, by the way, if you haven't done it and you want to, 1kweekend.com is where you can sign up to do that. Like I said, totally free, so go ahead and do that. But that's the context for this. So this client of hers has 2 different locations and 8 or 9 different team members that she'd like to include in this. So there's a couple of different ways that I would recommend doing this. And so number 1, I personally would not charge extra to include them into the session. And here's why, okay? 1, we don't want to make any extra friction for getting them to book a session, especially if they're still in that, that inquiry stage. But I would make things really, really clear about what it will be and what it won't. That adding extra people into the shoot isn't going to give her more images, and it's not going to be individual shoots for all of them, but they can be included into the images that she needs for her and her business that are, are focused on that, the stories that you're setting up when you're doing the stories. So like, for example, when I did my food blogger friend Lindsay, she had her family, and some of them she had just her kids in, some of them was her and her husband, some of them was all of them. And even though that's a little different because they're not like they're not employees or coaches or something as well, it's really not that different from the amount of work that goes into it when we're planning the session, because we have to plan for people to be there. Now, what I would say though, especially if there's a lot, so like this is 2 locations and this is a lot of people. And so you're going to have really great boundaries, because you do want to keep it streamlined. And you'll just make this, like the team could be one of the story sessions that you shoot together, right? And so make really clear boundaries about what it is, what it isn't. Make sure there's really great planning in advance, so that this, like if somebody is late or whatever else, it isn't there. You need to, you need to let them know they need to be ready to go. And you need somebody who's in charge of coordinating that before you arrive. That isn't you. Like that, you or your client can figure out who it is. But having somebody ready to go, especially if you're swapping locations, is really, really key, especially if they're women. And I'm not saying this is bad about women, but we all want to look our best. And we all, like, if they've got families, like for me, it's really hard to be on time for stuff. And I never know how long it's going to take me to get ready for things. So you just want to make sure that it's not going to cause massive delays. And I would probably end your day with that. I mean, maybe not. You guys will figure out the best time, but figure out a time where you can make it work. So that's number 1, is I would do it. I wouldn't charge extra for it, but I would definitely have a conversation with the potential client about what the expectations are. And I would really try and figure out, is this a situation where it would be beneficial for each of the people who are on our team to have their own full story session? Like if they're coaches and they're doing physical training, they may have their own clientele that they're coaching. So like I would see like the team stuff as being kind of overall and not focusing on any individual except for the main person who's hired you. But if it is, say, CrossFit, let me pull that back up and see how many people there were. So at CrossFit, there's 5 other coaches, right? So if she is trying to, if each of those coaches has their own individual clients, and they all need to, kind of like salons where some people hire a chair out, but they're responsible for finding their own clients, that sort of thing. What you may want to do is suggest that they consider getting their own as well, and that now is a great time to get in on it, because the 1K weekend is a lower price than normal, and it would be a great opportunity for them to get their own full set of images, because you're not going to give extra because there's more people in it, and it would have images that are specifically focused on them and how people can connect with them as an individual. So if that is the situation and they want to do that, great. Now, and they don't have to. You can still do the team ones. You can still do them, kind of as overall business brand with the bigger picture. You're just not going to do each of the individuals' stories. But it may not be a good fit either, in which case that's fine. But have the conversation and talk about the benefits. Why would it benefit her? Don't talk about you, because obviously you want to get more clients. Obviously it's more work to have more people. But this isn't about us. This is about our clients. It's always about our clients. What is the benefit our clients get by having a separate session for that coach? What is the benefit that coach gets that by having their own personal brand photography session and not just having a few images of them with the team or, whatever. And so that's something that we as photographers, the more specific we can understand the needs and speak to that and tell them what the exact benefit would be for that specific person, the easier it's going to be for our clients to see what the benefit would be as well. If we can't see and communicate the benefit, they won't see and communicate the benefit. Does that make sense? So you'll need to, but be honest, diagnose it. Ask questions to find out if this is really a good fit for separate sessions or if one is totally fine and will do everything she needs. You might find that these individual coaches come to you and want to pay for it themselves. Like maybe the person in charge won't even be the one who wants to initiate it. So if you really think that this is a really great fit for them, you could just tell them, hey, if we do these on the same day or you could give like that main person a referral for every additional session that is booked if you want to do that. So you could say, okay, well, if you have, for every person that you get to book as well, an additional session that's separate from this, I'll give you 10% off your booking. And I know it's already a promo, so you don't have to do that, but you could if you want to. You could just, it's a less dollar amount off because it's a lower base price. But I mean, really, if she had, even if 3 of the other people booked sessions and you went from 1 session to 4 sessions, now you're going from $500 to, what would that be? Like 500, 500, 500, and then 30% off of that would be 150 off, 350. So you would be at 1850. Yeah, 1850. I mean, from 500 to almost $2,000. Why not do it? Like for me, I would be like, okay, let's do that. That's a price that I could feel comfortable doing. And I would be happy to give that first person 10% off for every additional person that she has come on. Because I think that that's a great way to encourage our clients to help bring us new clients, right? Why not? And so that's kind of how I would look at it personally. In fact, Lindsay and Brian Cohen in the Personal Brand Photography group, there's a case study from them. Actually, I think it's here on the Facebook page too. They were able to do this exact thing. They were able to turn 1 photo session into 4 individual sessions because when they sat down with their client to plan out the session and talk about how it was going to look and what kinds of images were going to come out of it, they realized that each of these people really needed their own stories, not just, one group story or whatever. And they saw the value of it. And so they were literally able to turn 1 session into 4 paying sessions. And yes, Lindsay and Brian are amazing, Tracy Reed. They are a lovely part of our community, and I'm so glad they are in it. So you can absolutely do this. I don't think there's anything wrong with including them for free. I think the more we can serve our clients and get them to book, like the better. We need to be careful not to feel like we want good boundaries so that they don't just keep pushing. So as long as you have good guidelines around it, it's fine. But I do think it's absolutely worth a conversation to say, yes, we can absolutely do it. But can I ask you a few questions first, just to make sure that we are on the same page and that we know if it's going to be enough to include them or if they really do need their own full session, and then talk through it, right? So don't be afraid to do that. This is to help. Like, people want to be helped. Businesses do have money. I know it might seem hard right now with so many businesses shut down, but there are so many businesses out there who are making money right now. Almost everybody in my mastermind is crushing it. There's only a few of us in markets that have been completely shut down that are really struggling. And it's not because we're terrible people or whatever, it just happens to be the luck of the draw. But there are plenty of markets out there that are doing phenomenally well. And the gyms are going to come back with a passion once they're open again because people are so ready to get out of their homes and have this again and to be around other people and to have that fitness and that routine and that normalcy in their life. They are not going to want to stay home. They are going to want to get out there and do this, right? So just make sure you have good boundaries. Make sure you diagnose if they need separate sessions or just, one team session. And then make sure that when you do the planning, you do a lot of extra planning in order to make sure that it runs smoothly. Now, if you are part of the Story Sessions system, there is a whole questionnaire in there that will help you plan the session and make sure that it's going to be as effective as possible for your clients. So definitely reference that and grab that if you are in the Story Session system. If you're not, do the 1K weekend, because if you do the 1K weekend and you take action, you can get access to the Story Session system for half off. But you've got to do the 1K weekend. You've got to do the thing. And that's been the biggest thing I've seen. I've had 546 people sign up to do the 1K weekend since the start of the pandemic, but I've only had 19 people actually do it and track their results because people don't believe it'll work right now. They just aren't doing it. And so if you want to be a photographer that's going to stand out, like, I don't even know, what is that percentage? It's probably like 3 or 4%. I'm going to look right now because it's crazy. How few people? 3.5%. That's it. Only 3.5% of photographers out there are actually trying to grow their business right now. And it is not a bad time. Of those 3.5% that are doing it, 43% are booking clients. They're bringing money in right now. And I want you to do that. I want you to do this. Oh, Allison! Awesome. I'm waiting on the paid invoice, then I'm getting the story session system program. Woo! Yes, you will find the story session system to be invaluable to you to moving forward. And if you guys do this, you literally, like, I try and help you make the money, but then you also hopefully make, like, well, you get half of it off, and then you make the rest of it, hopefully through this, so that you can do it. Oh, Tracy. Tracy's so sweet. She says you will love it. All right. So anyways, that's my charge to you. If you have not done the 1K weekend, by all means, go and do it now, because the photographers who are really going to make it are the ones who are taking action. You don't take action, you're not going to book clients. But don't be afraid when people ask if they can have extra people there, if we can make accommodations. Do it. Like, let's make this work for them. Let's make it a win for them, but let's make it a win for us too. But let's be smart about it. So you are wonderful. This is great. If you guys are not, well, first of all, if you signed up to do the 1K weekend in the past and you haven't done it yet, do it. Because here's the other thing. If you track your results, whether you booked clients or not, there is a bonus training that is really phenomenally good. Thank you, Tracy. That tells you how to take your one-time clients and convert them into recurring clients. Okay? Recurring clients are clients that pay you to work with them all year round. They sign a contract that says, I want to work with you every quarter or every month or whatever it is. They want to work with you on an ongoing basis. And who doesn't want recurring clients with income that comes in month after month or quarter after quarter, right? Definitely do that. And if you need a contract for that, I do have a contract. It's personalbrandcontract.com. It has the verbiage for how to sign up a recurring client, plus all the stuff you need for personal brand photography that's very specific to it. But I can't encourage you enough. People are still booking clients or photographers, and the 1K weekend is a great way to do it. And so few people are taking action because they just don't think it'll work. But if you do it, it does. This is a great way to stand apart from everyone else out there. So, oh, Allison said she bought my contract yesterday. Woot woot. Phenomenal. Proud of you. Love seeing you take action, Allison. Can't wait to feature you as my next success story. And with that, my friends, you have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. Pop your questions into the free group at pbpcommunity.com. I will pick one of them to answer next week. I'll see you there. Bye-bye, my friends.